Andrew Cuomo has been doing these COVID-19 press conferences, and the media has been nutting all over themselves over these things because he appears to be so much more competent than Trump, so much more intelligent than Trump. He comes across like a serious leader in these press conferences. And I'll admit that. I've seen him. He comes across like a serious leader who's, being intelligent in how he's approaching this, and he's got a system in place, and he's got problem solving happening. And so you look at it and you go, wow, that looks presidential. Now, as a direct result of these press conferences being, pumped out everywhere, his approval rating is now like 80%. And sometimes in times of crisis, people fall in line behind their leaders. We saw with 9/11, Bush's approval rating was like 80 or 90% after 9/11. And now this is happening as well with COVID-19. And because Andrew Cuomo is out in front of everybody all the time doing these press conferences, it's a natural reaction. And so you look at it and you're like, wow. So he's getting some amazing press. Well, Cuomo decided to take it a step further here and use his COVID-19 press conference on Mother's Day to do some warm and fuzzy propaganda for himself, and he brought his mother onto the press conference through a Zoom call or a Skype call.
Today is about love and showing love and expressing it and appreciation for our mothers. And my mother, who I cannot see today because I am in a position where I am exposed to too many people, and if I go see my mother, Dr. Zucker, the health commissioner, says it would be risky for me to see my mother because I want to make sure that I don't infect her with anything. She's stronger than I am, and she's smarter than I am, but I just want to make sure that we don't do that. But I get to say Happy Mother's Day to my mother with my daughters. They're all here through one means or the other, whatever this is, Zoom this, Zoom that. Happy Mother's Day to you, Mom. I miss you. I love you so much. I wish I could be with you, but I can't be because I love you. That's why I can't be with you, because I love you.
Just so everybody understands, the pandemic is still raging in New York. We still have a lot of people dying every single day. New York is by far and away the worst state in terms of how many deaths and how many cases. Like, for all of his leadership and his COVID-19 press conferences, the numbers are reflecting you ain't doing a great job, dog. Now, listen, you could say, oh, well, it's because of the nature of New York and that New York City, everybody's on top of each other. There's so many people there and everybody's so jam-packed in the city that it's like, what are you going to do? You got all these apartment buildings. One person coughs in one hallway in an apartment building and all of a sudden you got 37 people that have the virus. So how much can you blame Cuomo for that? If you want to make that point, listen, it's a fine point. There's a reason why LA is, doing a lot better than New York City. LA, everybody's more spread out. I mean, sure, there are mitigating factors. There are reasons. Probably weather might have something to do with it too. It's harder for it to spread in hot weather than it is in cool weather. It can still spread in hot weather, but it's just harder for COVID to spread in hot weather. But anyway, listen, there's still a lot of work to do, bro. And he's out there talking to his mom on Mother's Day, doing a Zoom call, doing a Skype call, whatever it is, saying, I love you. You're so wonderful. This is just rank propaganda. Now, if he was doing a decent job, maybe I'd say, okay, have your, little cutesy fake moment here that you want to have for everybody. You want to know how you wish your mom a happy Mother's Day? Give her an actual call. Don't. Why are you trying to make it? The world must see that I love my mom because then they'll like me even more. It's one of those things that gets under my skin. It's like too calculated and too, like it's so planned out. But anyway, the real reason I'm covering this is because, so he does this cutesy little thing with his mom and everybody loves him now and he's got an 80% approval rating and he keeps doing these press conferences and he appears to be a competent leader. Look at what's really going on behind the scenes. Andrew Cuomo uses budget to cut Medicaid and settle political scores. The New York governor's response to the COVID-19 pandemic has made him a star, but progressives say the new state budget shows his true colors. Guys, in the middle of a pandemic, he's cutting Medicaid. Get this, to the tune of, I read a couple different numbers, but it's between $6 billion and $9 billion. With him in office, you've had a bunch of hospitals shut down for good. You're cutting Medicaid in the middle of a pandemic? And you're going to walk out there and act like you're a hero. You can do this cutesy little thing with your mom. Happy Mother's Day, I love you, Mom. What about all the older moms who need health care and you cut it from them? What about them? Do they not count? Is it only your mom that counts? Oh, I hate politics so much, you have no idea. Oh, it's so gross. All it takes, it's kind of amazing. All it took for Andrew Cuomo to be viewed as this amazing leader who's competent and on top of it all. Yes. All it took was, like, I don't know if he does it daily, or I don't know how many times a week he does it, but it's these recurring press conferences where he just makes it look like he's on top of it. That's it. That's all it took. I'm sure in some ways he's doing okay, but when you cut Medicaid in the middle of a pandemic, that kind of trumps any good you might do. No pun intended by saying the word Trump. But that kind of trumps any good you might be doing, man. I mean, come on, this is pathetic. That's thing number one you don't do is cut Medicaid, cut funding to health care for poor people. It's obscene. It's absolutely obscene. But listen, there's a political lesson in this for everybody. And Trump knows this better than anybody else, which is why he was doing it for so long. The more you're out there in front of people, the more you're playing leader like Trump did and like Andrew Cuomo did, the more people go, I guess he's a leader. I guess he's doing okay. I guess because people are not, and this is why journalism is so important and investigative journalism is so important, is because you got to uncover these frauds and you got to show them for what they are. Like, no, here's what he really did. He's cutting Medicaid as he's pretending like he's a leader when it comes to healthcare in New York. Oh, please. It's like literally the exact thing he's not a leader for. So, you know, good marketing and good PR is a tough thing because it works. It works. And there's no doubt about it in my mind that now he's positioned himself, if he wants to run for president in 4 years or 8 years or whatever it is, Cuomo is trying to position himself to do that, and he's succeeding.